Hello students. Today we are going to take up a very important section, and that is short writing skills. This comes under your section B, that's the subjective part, and writing skills are for 16 marks. Short writing skills are for 6 marks. A very important tip that I would like to give you, and that is it's the right time to start practicing your writing skills now, children. Try and do one writing skill a day. On an average, if you've done 5 questions in 1 week, imagine you would be completely prepared for 16 marks out of your 80 marks before your exam. So all the best, and let's start with short writing skills. So as you can see, short writing skills are for 3 marks each and long writing skills are for 5 marks. I am doing long writing skills in a different video. This video is about short writing skills. Short writing skills comprise of notice writing, advertisements, invitations, and replies. So let's start with notice writing. As you all know, a notice is a formal announcement. Remember, the language and style of a notice is very formal. All your short writing skills are for 50 words. So the word limit is 50 words. Starting with your notice writing, first thing I would like to mention over here, even though it's the last point on this slide, that is you have to put your notice in a box. So the first thing that you do is make a box. On the top, write name and place of the issuing authority. It could be the name of a school, organization, office, RWA, depending upon the question. Followed by the word notice, which is in capital letters. This is then followed by an appropriate heading or a title. Another important thing that you should not forget is the date of the issuing authority. I shall show you the placement of the date of the issuing authority in the next slide. But remember children, this date is very important and it is not the same as the date that comes in the body of the notice. Now, when you start writing the notice, clearly mention the target group for whom the notice is to be displayed. So, for example, it's a notice that is to be displayed for maybe a Kho competition for grade 9 to 12 students. So, the first thing that you must mention is that this is for grade 9 to 12 students. The purpose of the notice is to be mentioned in the body along with all relevant details, and here relevant details are date, time, venue. Last but not the least, you must mention whom to contact for further details. Then you sign off, write your name and designation of the person issuing the notice. Now let's look at a notice. Here the blue box denotes your box. First thing that comes is the name of the issuing authority. In this case, it is ABC School Shillong, followed by the word notice in capital letters. Now, date of the issuing authority, as you can see, is given in the left hand side and it goes as January 13, 2021. Date of issuing notice is given like this and not like 13.1.21. Please remember that. Then you write the title of the notice, which is blood donation camp. It has been underlined to draw the attention of the reader. Now, coming to the body of the notice, what it is, when it is, where it is, any relevant details, whom to contact, and then signature, name, designation. So this makes for your format and the content what should go in your notice. Now, you must also remember what is to be done to get that 1 mark for expression also. So let's look at a sample notice. So this is St. Bede's College Simla notice and then the date of issuing the notice. The notice is to inform the students about the cultural fest. Therefore, the title is Cultural Fest. And then as you can see, the first line itself talks about the target group. It is to inform the students of class 9 to 12 that the Cultural Fest this year is being organized on May 25th. So it tells you when it is, the timings, and even where. Now it is on Zoom, so that has been mentioned. Those students who are interested in performing must get their names registered with the cultural secretary by May 18th. So these are the relevant details. Entry is strictly on first come basis. And finally, where you should contact for relevant details. Okay, so look at this sample notice. Now, this is a different kind of a question. It is not from a school or an institution. This is a notice which is being drafted by the secretary of DLF Crest RWA. And it is a notice which is asking, or it's a reminder for the fourth installment of maintenance charges. So as you can see, the format will be the same, but the body will be slightly different. And as you can read over here, it says all members of the Residents Welfare Association are hereby informed that the payment of the fourth installment of maintenance charges is due on 31st January 2021. Please pay before the due date to avoid late payment charges. So everything is given, the target group is given, the date is given, what is the purpose of writing this notice. It is a reminder. And then finally, you can always write for further details, contact the undersigned, or in this case, it can be the secretary of DLF Crest RWA. The next kind of your short writing skill is advertisement. There are two types of advertisements, classified and display ads. Now these are totally different, children. You have to remember. Classifieds are very simple, formal, factual and comprehensive. To say it in few words, they are very cut and dry. Whereas display ads are attractive, catchy, and they can also have figurative language. So you can see that they are very different from each other. Now, when do you make a classified and when do you make a display ad? Well, sometimes it's mentioned in the question itself, draft a classified ad. And it may also say draft a display ad or a commercial ad. Display and commercial ads are the same, but sometimes it may not mention. Yeah, it may not be mentioned in the question that you have to make a classified or a display ad. Well, use your discretion, children. Classified is generally for sale of a house or for sale of a product where you are selling it without, making it appear very attractive. Usually display ads are to increase the sales. So for example, if it's a launch of a new shampoo or a new cream, you have a display ad. Or it's an event that you are trying to sell, you make a display ad. Okay, so let's look at the examples to get a clear picture. Uh, well, to start with classified ads, you must clearly state the category at the top. That is, for example, it's a to-let ad, or it's a lost and found ad, it's a for sale ad, whatever is the case, you have to mention at the top. All necessary details are given in short using commas. Why I've written commas? Because you have to only use pertinent phrases. You cannot use complete sentences. As you can see, I have put it in bold also. Do not use complete sentences. Give contact name, address and telephone number. Put the matter in a box. The types of classifieds, as you can see, could be situation vacant or wanted, lost and found, sale and purchase, accommodation wanted, matrimonial, to let. Any of these can be there. This is an example for a classified ad. The blue box denotes the box that you have to make. You will write the word classifieds as it comes under the classified column, and then centrally aligned heading written in capital letters. to let, when you want to rent out your property. Now it says available newly built floor at Taj Roads. The first few words itself indicate what is your ad about. Your advertisement is about a newly built floor, and it's also giving the locality. Then, as you can see, the details, at least 5-6 details of that particular thing have to be mentioned. So here it says 3 bedrooms, study, DD. DD stands for drawing dining. Okay, and then comes your other details. For example, expected rent, when can one visit the property, and finally the contact person's name, address and telephone number. So as you can see, I have first mentioned what is the ad about. So it's about a newly built floor. Then I have mentioned at least 6-7 details, and then finally when you can visit the property and the name of the contact person, address and telephone number. This is a different kind of an ad. Generally, you will find advertisements where you will see job vacancy. Now here there is someone who is offering his services. So it is slightly different. So it says fashion designer available. Available, NIFT graduate, experienced fashion designer, and then the details. Worked with foreign clients, excels in designing and labor, remuneration expected, available on weekends to showcase portfolio, interested world-class brands may contact, and then the name, address and telephone number of the contact person. So you can get a different kind of ad like this also. Now this is an example of a display ad where the school is promoting its Christmas carnival. As you can see in this particular advertisement, as it is talking about an event, it is telling you when it is, where it is, and what are the major attractions. Now here, as we remember the slide that we saw for display and commercial ads, it said attractive language, and you can use figurative language, you can use slogans. I could have used the slogan come one come all. Okay, so in a display ad you can use graphics, you can use drawings in order to draw the attention of your reader. So as I said, it's not cut and dry like a classified ad, but a display ad is very attractive. Moving on to the next category of your short writing skills, we come to invitations. There are two kinds of invitations: formal invitation and informal invitation. Formal invitation has under it two types, and that is, one is the card type and the other is the letter format. Now often my students ask this question: when do we draft a card and when should we write a letter? Now remember this very carefully. Card is drafted when you are inviting many people. Say for example, you are holding your annual cultural celebrations. You are inviting the parents, so you will draft a card. A letter is written when you are inviting the chief guest or a guest of honor or a speaker, or even when you are inviting other schools to participate in a competition, you draft a letter of invitation. Okay? And informal invitations, you only have letters. Now under kinds of replies also you have two types: formal letter of reply and informal letter of reply. It could be a letter of acceptance, it could be a letter of regret. So let's see what are the different types. So when you are writing an invitation, you must include what it is, when it is, where it is, and why you are writing that invitation. What is the purpose? Remember these 4 points. This is an example of card format, an institutional card where the school is inviting the parents for the annual prize distribution. Now, what is important here is, children, as you can see that the entire thing is written in one sentence but broken down in such a way that it is indented to give it that kind of presentation. So you cannot write a card in the form of a paragraph, and therefore as you can see I've written it like this: the principal, staff and students of. So of has come in the second line. Raffle school quota, and then the longish line you have: request the pleasure of your company at their annual prize distribution. This is written in a different font and it is also written in capital letters. Next line takes your day, date, time and then venue. Please write it in this order: day Saturday, time July 10th, time 5 p.m. and venue is Vicky Auditorium. Now since this is an invitation for annual prize distribution, you mention the name of the chief guest also. As I said earlier, just have a look at the layout of this invitation. It is in one sentence but broken down in such a manner that you have indented the card. Then you come to RSVP, which stands for Répondez s'il vous plaît. In French, it means reply if you please. Under that, you write the name of the person who can be contacted along with his telephone number. And then there's a footnote, program overleaf. You can write different things depending upon the question. If it's for a lecture series, for example, you could write, please be seated by 4:45 p.m. Or it could even say admit to, or it could say eatables not allowed inside the auditorium. That becomes a bit long. Yeah, so just remember you can write the footnote depending upon the question. This one is an example of a personal card. Now here, this is a card for the wedding of Mr. Kapoor's daughter. What I want you to notice here is, again, the indenting, the layout of the card. That is very important. The rest, you can see it's the same: day, date, time, venue, RSVP, and in this you always write with best compliments from family and friends. This is an example of a formal letter format where you are inviting someone, in this case it's the Chief Minister, for the annual day celebrations. The format of this is exactly like your formal letter, where you first write the sender's address, leave a line, write the date in this format. Then the designation, if you know the name of the person, first write the name, designation and address. Comes after this your salutation, dear sir. Subject followed by a salutation, invitation for annual day. Please underline your subject. Now one thing I've been telling you, subject and salutation are interchangeable. You can write subject first and then salutation, or you can write salutation first and then subject. Doesn't matter. Both are correct. As you can see, the language is very formal. This is regarding the annual day celebrations of our school, which will be held on, now see, date, time, venue, and then why you are writing it? Because you are requesting the person to grace the occasion as the chief guest. Remember I told you, you have to mention what, when, where, why. Your presence will be a source of great encouragement for our children. The next line is very important. It should always be there in your formal letter when you are writing to invite someone. Kindly confirm your availability at the earliest. Why this is important, children? Because till the point this person confirms his availability, you cannot go ahead with your plans. So please include this line. You close your letter, your complimentary close is always yours sincerely. Write your name and then the designation. Reply to an invitation. Now remember, the content for reply to an invitation must include, first of all, your gratitude. Next, day, date, time of the event. You must be wondering, why do we write day, date, time of the event? Well, in normal circumstances, you may not write, but for the sake of your board exams, please do mention day, date, time of the event, even when you are writing the reply to the invitation. Then comes whether you are accepting the invitation or you are declining the invitation. If you are declining it, you must mention the reason for not accepting the invitation. And finally, you must convey your good wishes. So let's look at the letter of regret formal reply. The format again is like your formal letter. I'm going to the body of the letter straight away because we've already discussed the format. Now, as you can see, I have written, this is regarding your invitation to the annual day celebrations of your school on July 29, 2021 at 5 p.m. So I've mentioned the date and time. It is a matter of great honor that your school has invited me as the chief guest. Unfortunately, due to a prior commitment, I will not be able to attend the function. So you've mentioned the reason why you are not able to attend the function. And then you convey your best wishes for the success of the function, and complimentary close, as I said, is always yours sincerely. Sign off and then write the designation. Now this is letter of acceptance informal reply. As you know, the format of informal letters is sender's address, date, salutation. And again, you have mentioned over here also date, time, and what is the purpose of the celebration. The complimentary close here, since it's an informal letter, you can simply say yours lovingly. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this presentation. I hope all the writing skills and the formats are now clear, and please do take my tip and start practicing one writing skill a day so that you are prepared much before the board exam for 16 marks of your paper. Thank you. Good luck.